Hey, so today's 6 weeks since we started. I couldn't be happier. When I started 6 weeks ago, I was 290 pounds. I stepped on the scale this morning, I was 259. So that's a pretty significant difference. Very happy with it. Since my honeymoon, which was actually in November, I'm down a total of 56 pounds. But since we started this diet just 6 weeks ago, I'm down, 31 pounds. So that's pretty good as far as weight loss is concerned, especially since we're not really exercising or doing anything other than just eating 1,200 calories. So I look at that as being pretty awesome. If you can just sit on your sofa and play Skyrim or Call of Duty all day and not move and still lose 31 pounds, then there's no excuse. Everyone can lose weight. You just got to be dedicated. So with this 1,200 calorie thing, yeah, obviously rough at first. Once you adapt to it after that first 2 weeks or so, it ain't bad. There's times I feel like I don't have a lot of energy. The last video I recorded, it looked like I was falling asleep during, and I literally was having a hard time keeping my eyes open because I'd just come back from the gym. So, just don't overdo it when you do go to the gym. I've had a few periods where, I was a little lightheaded, dizzy a few times, but you just got to know when to ease back the throttle if you are doing these workouts. If you're not doing these workouts, then you're probably okay just in your daily routines, but I'd suggest, not squatting down for a long period of time or bending over, looking at stuff on shelves if you go shopping or something, because I've noticed a few times I've gotten lightheaded doing that. So, 1,200 calories, obviously not a lot, but it's getting the job done. Now, as far as me, at the gym, I've been running a little bit. Started running. I was pretty surprised the first day I started. I got about a half mile in nonstop. So I look at that as being pretty good amount. I've slowly worked up. I can get about a mile in approximately 9 minutes now. For me, I think that's pretty good. I don't think I ever ran probably that fast in my life, or at least that I can recall. So I'm pretty happy being 259 and being able to do a 9-minute mile. I think that's not too bad, especially considering 6 weeks ago, I'm a slug on my sofa. But I walk and run alternate for probably about 30 minutes every day. Every once in a while, like maybe twice a week, I'll switch it up and I'll do some weights. It's important that we try to keep our muscles working, because when you're doing these low-calorie diets, if you're expending energy too fast or you do have a calorie deficit, it's easier for your body to burn muscle than it is to burn fat. So we want to keep that in mind. So we still have to work on maintaining a good muscle mass, because we don't want to end up being skinny fat. Skinny fat is when you see young girls walking around or young guys walking around and they look thin, but if you were to touch them, like their skin, it feels like bread dough. I mean, I once had someone describe that to me as soft and supple, but I mean, really, it's just kind of disgusting, I think. I think people should have some tone to them. And we don't want to end up, like I said, skinny fat. You don't want to end up like a bag of bread dough. You want to end up nice and toned, able to wear that swimsuit or go outside without a shirt, and look like you're cut. At least that's my goal. So, down 31 pounds, 259. Very excited, very pumped going into these next 2 weeks. Plans for the next 2 weeks, and you can follow along with me on this stuff or not. If you stick with the original plan, which was the oatmeal and the water and that stuff, and you're doing those 30 minutes, I'm sure that you're probably getting the same results as me or better. And I know I say that every week because I'm not a very good role model here. I mean, yes, I'm sticking with it, but I change it up all the time. I make like little wraps with like lean hamburger in. I make little wraps with like no-fat mozzarella and a couple pieces of pepperoni. If I wasn't getting all that fat and those bad things from that, I'd probably be losing more weight realistically. One other confession I have to make, and this is a bad one. Last week, I was out of town at a convention. And in this town I was at, they just so happened to have a buffet that I really like, and I went to the buffet. One thing I noticed right away is, I couldn't put away 6, 7, 8 plates like I used to be able to. I could only put away about 2 plates, maybe 2.5 plates full of food. But still, I figure I probably, got in like 8,000, 9,000 calories for that meal. That was probably not the best idea, but, I had a moment of weakness. I was out of town. I don't get to go there very often, so I gave in. Now, that being said, still lost weight. It really, to me, it didn't seem to affect the weight loss at all, but I'm not going to translate that into, I can go to the buffet once a week and it's not going to be an issue, because I don't believe that for a second. In fact, when I diet, I try to be extremely on point as far as calorie-wise, and if you're doing protein, carbs, or fat, I try to count those down to the decimal point. But if you are finding you're having a hard time, we're 6 weeks in. I'd say, if you've lost 30 pounds or something, give yourself a little treat. If you know that you have low willpower, though, and that is going to derail you, then just do not listen to the last 10 seconds of this talk. Okay? But if you're a person with strong willpower and good resolve, don't be afraid to go out. Give yourself a little something. We've been working hard for 6 weeks. A burger's not going to kill us. So, we're going to go strong. I actually ordered some fat burner pills last week. I feel as though I may be starting to get to the point where this is going to slow down and start plateauing. So, I talked about that a little bit last time. I don't want to run into that this early on. I still got a long way to go. At 259, I think I was searching, really, I'd like to be 180. But I think I'm going to shoot for 220. Naturally I'm a pretty big guy. I'm pretty muscular. I think if I get to 220, I'm going to look pretty good. It's only another 39 pounds. If things keep going the way they are, with a bit of luck, 6 more weeks, I'll be at my goal. Then maybe I'll start making some videos about how to weight lift and train, and see what we can do with all of that. Because once we tear ourselves down, we're going to want to build ourselves up, get that tone I was talking about. But maybe I'll do a little review on these fat burning pills and see if they do anything. My experience with supplements, basically all supplements, is that they're garbage. They're snake oil. They're nothing. You waste your money, they do nothing. If anything, some of them may have a placebo effect. If you're able to be tricked like that, then good for you. It may give you a little bit of encouragement or a little bit of a boost. And if it does, then it's doing its job. Some things, I'd say 1% of all supplements probably actually do something. And of that 1%, maybe like half of that percent actually does what it claims it will do. So I would say, for the most part, just stay away from that stuff altogether. But, I bought into some hype on one of these things, so I'm gonna take it. And, don't confuse this. I'm not trying to sell anything. I don't give a crap what you do here. But I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens. If it seems like it gives me energy, then, I'll let you know what the brand is or whatever. And then that's entirely up to you if you want to take it or not. A lot of people, if you already have issues, if you're taking medication and stuff, you want to stay the hell away from these things. Because all it is caffeine. It just friggin' bumps your heart rate up. You probably sweat. You feel like you're having a heart attack. So if you don't want that kind of feeling, then don't take this stuff. But really, a lot of these fat burners, it's no different than drinking a big glass of tea or a double shot of espresso or something, because they're mostly just caffeine. But that being said, I'm going to give it a shot anyhow. We'll see what happens. If it gives me a little bit more energy in those workouts, then it'll be worth it for me. I think really that's probably all I got to say. I definitely am noticing a difference when I look in the mirror. This makes me very happy. Clothes are falling off of me. Shirts I couldn't wear comfortably now fit just fine. So very happy with the progress so far. Hopefully you're happy with your progress. If something awesome happens in the next week, then I'll post next week. If it seems like it's slow going like it has been, then you'll hear from me again at the 8-week mark. And with a bit of luck at the 8-week mark, I'm really going to bust my butt this week and hopefully I can be in the low 250s. I'd really like to break into that 240 range. If I hit 249, I'm going to dance a little jig or something, because I haven't been in the 240s in a long time. I haven't been in the 250s for a long time, so I'm happy about this. But I get to the 240s, and I'm going to have this new level of focus and concentration. I might even go back to the oatmeal stuff, because I know I'm going to be that much closer to the goal. So, like I said, I'm getting pretty excited here about all this. Summertime's, starting to creep up on us. It's staying light longer. It's not as cold as it was. I'm not seeing as much snow, if you live someplace where there's snow. So, getting amped, and hopefully you are too. So let's stick with it. We don't have too much further to go.